Hello and welcome to a digital aquarium little video. This is more of just to kind of show you a cool tool that I found and I'm playing about with and kind of explain why I'm looking at this tool and process. You will find that some of the clips in this video will have what sounds like duplicate voiceover. That's because the microphone picked up the voice from the screen recording at the same time. I apologize about that. Just letting you know that's going to happen. But today I have been playing about with a tool called Convai or Convai AI, and it's essentially a AI conversation tool designed largely for these metahuman interactions. And you can talk to these avatars either via microphone or via typing physical conversations. And let's just open up this character just to sort of show what I mean. So here we have this test character. Doesn't matter what she looks like. I'm not using her details. I'm only after a character ID, which is why it doesn't have to be the same. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to give a personality to this character. So you're giving them a backstory. You're talking about how they speak, how they act, any distinct features or personality traits you want them to have. You're also choosing their speaking style. Avatar, this is where if you wanted to customize an avatar and use it for web APIs or other SDKs, you can do. I'm not using any of this, so it doesn't really matter for me. This is where you can choose their language. So by default, I chose it as US feminine. Actually, what I would have wanted really is young UK feminine voice, most likely. So, like I said, in this video, she will sound different. She will sound very American, but it can be changed. It's not the end of the world. I can just press update and it changes it because the character ID is linked to this online service. So this only works when you are logged in online. I can choose in things like custom pronunciation. So for certain words that it needs to be pronounced in a certain way, I can add it into this library here. Same with new words that need to be pronounced a certain way. Knowledge bank. So this is where you upload a written list of information. So I'm only on the free plan, which means I'm limited to how much I can actually upload or feed it, and also how many interactions I can have with it per month, which is why you'll see later in this video they're pre-recordings that I've done on the same day. I'm doing all this on the same day. This is just probably about an hour ago I did those recordings. But you just give it this information, and that's what she'll be able to reference back to. There are inbuilt default responses like, how are you? And she'll say, I'm okay, or, goodbye. And if you can say things like, follow me, and the metahuman will follow you. She'll physically walk around the space. But you do need to add knowledge to it if you want to kind of go beyond its default kind of response rate. Personality traits, so this is where you choose its kind of behavioral mannerisms. Core AI models, not really paid about that. State of mind, so what kind of mood she's generally in. Embodied actions. So if I had actions, I could program and choose it to have like if this, then that kind of thing. Same with narrative design. Publish, this is where I could publish this and embed this experience so that people could interact with it. Again, I'm not going to do that because I'm on a free plan and I don't want this to be like using up all my interactions for the month. But you could copy the link, share it with other people, or embed it if you have a paid plan. And then we have our memory, which is all of our sessions that we've had with her so far. So at the moment, I've had 17 sessions, so I'd have 100 for free per month. So you can sort of see where they're going with that. If we go to the toggle menu, we go to the drop down here and we go to pricing. This is what you get. You get for £0 a month, you get 100 interactions and you get basic tools and 1 megabyte of knowledge bank size. £22 a month. That's on a yearly plan. If you go monthly, it's 29. But yeah, for me, I would like to look at this. So, so why am I looking at this? Why do I want an interactive AI metahuman in Unreal? Two reasons. One, for me, I would like to create a world or an interface where children or people who need potential help, or people who are coming to terms with their neurodiversity, or or just need to know more about what it is to be neurodiverse, can interact with this avatar and have a kind of conversation with this character that's sort of a knowledge base that we feed it those information as a kind of training tool for potentially people who are neurodiverse, or people who have to, or people who encounter people who are neurodiverse. I myself am neurodiverse, so I'm kind of looking at this from that perspective in a sense. And yeah, so all I've done is I've just copied my API, and then in Unreal, I've created a metahuman. So if you don't know what metahumans are, you can Google search them. I'm not going to go into huge detail about that, but essentially they are rigged characters that you can custom design online. I then went to plugins and I enabled the Convai plugin. This, by the way, would not be installed by default. I had to get that through the content drawer fab, and then in the fab store, I typed in Convai, and there it is. I added that plugin to my Unreal Engine, and that allowed it to then show up in my plugins option, which is where I could enable it, essentially. Then I added a metahuman in. So this is the default, one of the default metahumans that comes with it. And if I just go to her panel, so metahumans, Ada, blueprint Ada. And what I've had to do is a viewpoint. So these are Ada. So when I've got the plugin enabled, if I go over to where it says, where is it? So I select her body. So with her body selected, I go over to animation. I change the animation class to be Convai metahuman body. And I did the same with her face. I went to, where is it? Head, face. So I went to her face and chose the Convai metahuman face animation class. That now starts linking it all up. But it wasn't done quite yet. I then had to go back to Ada, press add, I had to type in Convai, and add in our Convai face sync into my scene. This metahuman that was created then had to go and change its class. So if we go to actor class here, we check this was set to our AI controller Convai AI, and under class, and we did that via the class settings. So with the class settings, we changed the parent class of this character to be the Convai AI base character. So this essentially added in all those options in the other panels, so in the body and the face, and the face sync. It allows all this to start syncing up. With that done, I press save, I close that out, and with my metahuman in my scene, so I select my metahuman, it has this Convai AI info panel, because I changed the class settings to be a Convai AI class. After typing my character ID, which is the one that I got via the online resource. And if I wanted to be able to understand context or elements in its surroundings, I can go to the objects and start adding those in. So, for example, this sphere here, I added this sphere to her object list and gave it a detailed name and description. So if I say, can you tell me a bit about the sphere? She will use this description here to start understanding and adding her understanding of an object. You can also tell her to move to or walk towards the sphere, and should go towards the object that we've defined here. And the reason she can walk around is because in our scene we added this nav mesh bounds volume. So we did that via the place actors panel. I typed in. Let's open this up. Sorry. So in the place actors panel, I typed in nav, added in our nav mesh bounds volume, dragged it onto my floor. So this is my static mesh floor. and everywhere that's green is where she's allowed to walk, and she's allowed to go in these boundaries. To make that boundary bigger, I had to scroll down to brush settings and just increase the size of the world so she has more freedom. Anywhere that isn't green, she can't go. And likewise, as you can see, she can go upstairs if they are a static mesh and they have collisions on it. And static meshes typically do, unless you import them and you don't enable it, essentially. So yes, this is essentially what she is. Just check there's nothing else here. So we've got AI controller. We added in her cat controller ID. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I had to do. So I had to go to world settings. I had to change my game mode to game mode override first person game mode. And with that, if I go to my first person game mode, which is under first person, by the way, to enable first person mode, you go to add feature or content pack, add first person. That added our first person template into here. I go to my BP first person character. I double click on that. I go to my class settings for this BP character. Go to parent class, change it to Convai base player. And this then changes all of our controls and options. So now our player is built up, so it has the UI. It adds in this microphone / device that listens to your microphone in your device on your device. You can change your settings when you're playing it by pressing F10. That allows you to choose what microphone you'll type in. Otherwise, you can press T and just type in using your keyboard. And then after a bit of time, once it connects to the online server, she'll start to respond back to those questions using the information that she has by default, but also the information that you fed into her base knowledge library through that text upload. So I'm now going to just stop talking, and I'm now going to cut to some recorded footage I've done where I've asked her a few basic questions, things I've inputted into her, and then asked her to follow me around. This is where the audio will start to double, so I apologise for that. But I didn't want to re-record and use up 2 more interactions just for the sake of the test at this point in time. And obviously, like I said, we could build this up in more detail. I could add in, this could be, for example, a science lab, and I could add each actor to be a reference, and she could tell me more information about each contextual information in there. She could follow me around. Once we go into an area, she could help us understand that practice. So this could be very useful for medical simulations, training within on work sites, and so on. But as you can see, this is still for me, very early experiments, and my first day playing with it, and I'm playing with a free version, so I am a little bit limited, but hey ho, let's go. Hello, could you tell me what neurodiversity is?
Hey, neurodiversity is like a rainbow of brains. Some brains work differently, and that's totally okay. It's like some people are amazing artists, and others are amazing at math. Both are super cool.
Could you tell me some classifications of neurodiversity?
Ooh, I love this. There's autism, ADHD, dyslexia, and so many more. It's like a big, beautiful spectrum, each one unique and wonderful. It's all about how our brains are wired, and there's no right way to be wired.
How would I find out more information about neurodiversity?
Yeah, learning is fun. You could check out books from the library or look online. There are tons of websites and videos about neurodiversity. Talking to people who are neurodivergent is also a great way to learn.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Have a super duper day. Yeah, let's go. Where are we going? A round object. Isn't it amazing? Okay, I'll go back, but I liked following you.